Hello and good afternoon, all. Welcome to the 32nd edition of Water Series webinar on Kazarin campaign presented by National Water Mission, Minister of Jal Shakti, Government of India, and organized by APEC News Network. And like earlier editions, in this edition also, we will be having representations from various districts from the various parts of the country. But before I introduce our speakers, let me first introduce to all of you. We have with us Devashri Mukherjee, Senior IAS Officer, Additional Secretary, and Mission Director, National Water Mission, Minister of Jal Shakti, Government of India. We welcome you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today. We also have with us officers from three districts of three beautiful states. We have officers from the state of Tripura, from Himachal Pradesh, and Arunachal Pradesh. We have with us Mr. Devapriya Bordhon, DM and Collector, West Tripura. We welcome Mr. Bordhon. Thank you so much for joining us today. We also have with us Mr. Rahul Kumar, Additional District Magistrate and CEO, Zilla Parisad, Kangra, Himachal Pradesh. We welcome Mr. Rahul Kumar. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we also have with us Mr. Atul Thayang, Deputy Commissioner of Siang from the beautiful state of Arunachal Pradesh. We welcome Mr. Atul. Thank you so much for joining us today. So without taking much time, I will request Devashri Mukherjee, madam, to kindly set the context of this webinar series and say a few words to encourage our officers to work for the betterment of the brighter future, especially focusing on water management. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shobhik ji. It is a great pleasure, I always say, to be here for this session. And it is of much greater pleasure for me today because we have three officers from our hill states. And, our focus on water management in the hill states is so critical for integrated water resource management in the country. We always say that water is interconnected. So water management that you do in your district does not just impact water availability in your district, but also impacts water availability. It overall impacts the water security of the country. And that is particularly true of the hill states. And therefore, this time, I think all of you are aware that we have launched the Jal Shakti Abhiyan for the year 2022. On the 29th of last month, the Honorable President launched the Jal Shakti Abhiyan for this year. And one of our key areas of focus, as different from last year, in addition to everything that we've been trying to do last year, is to look at the hill states and to focus on springs and spring shed management. So perhaps more about that, and I hope some of our young friends here will talk about springs and spring sheds, but I'll come to that later. Now, we know how important water is for lives and livelihoods, and we know also how important it is that with climate change, some of the most prominent impact of climate change is on the water cycle. And what we're already seeing these changes in our country. We are seeing these changes around the world, but particularly in our country. There have been some assessments of climate change impacts. And, the broad things that are being talked about is increase in temperatures, but also, changes in the water cycle in the sense that precipitation may largely be the same, but there will be longer dry spells, and there will be shorter but more intense precipitation events. So storms, flash floods, and disasters. We can expect water related disasters if we don't manage our water effectively. Now, the Catch the Rain program, therefore, the Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain, is probably the world's largest, community call to action to prepare for the rains and to do better water management. All of you already know what this involves. This involves, assessing what the situation is in each district prior to the rains. what is the condition of the water bodies, how can we store more water, how can we actually ensure that there is less flooding both in urban and rural areas, again by ensuring better management of rainwater. With that, we're talking about rainwater harvesting, we are talking about rehabilitation of ponds and wetlands, but we're also talking about assessing the health of catchments, improving our catchments. And this year, we are requesting all these hill states, particularly, to one, identify all our springs, because springs, like water bodies, tend to disappear if they're not identified, and their GIS locations, sort of mapped, and thereafter put in place activities for spring shed management. So, I hope, we learn a lot from these interactions. I must confess that, talking to the younger officers who are actually working in the field really teaches me a lot that we can bring into the national programs and national policy. And I've had a conversation with the director of the academy where we are trying to leverage these conversations to try and create modules and further, material to be shared amongst other officers working in other districts. So for us, this interaction is very, very important. I will stop here, and I hope that I again learn from all of you, and this the discussion that we have brings forth critical issues of water management for the hill states. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devashri Mukherjee, madam, for sharing your thoughts with us. And as you rightly pointed out, that this year the Kazrin campaign and Jal Shakti Abhiyan will also have a focus, especially on spring and spring shed management. And as you rightly said, that identifying those spring and this how they're working, using of technology for mapping of those springs. So, and as you rightly pointed out, that today we have district officers from various hilly states as well. So that will be quite interesting to know how they're thinking for water management. So without taking much time, I'll request Mr. Debapriya Bardhan, DMN Collector of West Tripura, to share with us initiatives being undertaken in his district. Over to you, Sri Debapriya Bardhan.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, Shobik ji. And good afternoon, my fellow panelists, Rahul ji and Atul ji. Is my slide visible? I'll start with the presentation, ma'am.
Yes, it is visible.
Ma'am, West Tripura district, as the name suggests, is the western part of the hilly state Tripura, and it is half consists of half hill area and half plain area. So we have to deal with the water management issue both in hills as well as in plain areas. This is a brief profile of the district, ma'am, and we have almost 9 lakhs population, and the area is 983 square kilometer, and annual rainfall, it's I would say it's on a higher side, but the major issue that we face is that it's a shortage or water scarcity during lean period, during dry season. We have major sources of water as surface water, rivers, stream, lake, pond, etc., and groundwater mainly deep tube well and small bore deep tube well, etc. So, ma'am, for studying this situation of the water in the district, we have had a topographical field survey conducted by Tripura Space Application Center, and which has studied the geographical coordinates of lakes, tanks, ponds, wells, etc., and the map has been prepared for the district. The type of water bodies have been classified, and these have been mapped, and physical and digital visualization model, 3D model, has been prepared with the help of Tripura Space Application Center, and we are utilizing those data to take decision. And we also have the rainfall data and predictive that population which would be there to take a decision on the water management in the district. This is the drainage pattern map, which has been mapped through GIS-based platform with the help of Tripura Space Application Center. And the land use cover of the district, as it seems many of these areas are covered with vegetation, and some areas the waterlogged areas are there, some areas there are water bodies. I'll show those things in the next map, ma'am. And this is the major drainage channels which are there. One thing is important in this is that, ma'am, most of these channels, or most of these rivulets or streams, these are not perennial. Means in dry season, most of these streams they go dry, and we face water scarcity, and more so in hilly areas. So this is the micro watershed which has been mapped using this GIS technology, and all these existing water structures, these were mapped to know where exactly these things are located, and how can we improve upon these things. And this is the overall data consisting of various water bodies which are in the district. We have GIS locations of all these water bodies in the district. So these are the main challenges, ma'am, we face related to water management. I would say abundant rainfall during rainy season, but scarcity at many places, even for drinking water, for potable water during lean period. Many streams, as I have already mentioned, are non-perennial, and the reduction in intake capacity, even in the surface water treatment plants, which are in plain areas, in cities, this we face during dry season. And even though we have surface water treatment plants, but major reliance till now is on the groundwater for drinking water purpose. And non-availability of appropriate groundwater reserve in some hilly areas. Even though we go deeper, we bore it, but we find that at many places the suitable aquifer is not available, even after drilling in those areas. So some of the initiatives that has been taken in the district is mapping of water bodies, as already mentioned, and protection of water resource and conservation of water bodies. And this is a very important area, as we have seen that Agartala is situated in West Tripura district, and it's undergoing rapid change of land use pattern and development in and around Agartala, and also in the capital city. So there is pressure on land, and people always try to convert the water bodies for construction and homestead purpose, and the government has been very keen to protect the water bodies of the entire state, so that there is a strict monitoring, and a strict protocol has been put up for according permission for conversion or diversion of water bodies for construction or other homestead purpose. So we are following that, and we are ensuring that the protocol is followed, and we are able to conserve the water bodies which are existing, and so that they are not diverted for any construction and other purposes without due diligence. Next is, ma'am, creation of artificial recharge structures and keeping existing recharge system, and this I will discuss later, the other components of it. And micro water storage structures, a lot of micro water storage structures have been created in our district. And while we were actually going through this Catch the Rain campaign, our main initial focus was to complete the incomplete micro water storage structures, which were being taken up through MGNREGS and PM KSY schemes, and also under various schemes of forest department. In some institutional buildings, we have also done this rooftop water harvesting structures, and traditional rainwater harvesting structures have also been made, and recycling and reuse of wastewater. In this area, in Agartala, we are ensuring this, we have a sewage treatment plant from where the wastewater is being recycled for the purpose of gardening and etc. And tree plantation is an important activity for watershed and catchment area improvement, and we have done a massive tree plantation drive, and through which we are trying to improve the upper catchment area of the main river which flows through Agartala city. And capacity building in water conservation and management, we are taking up this thing through our gram panchayats and village committees, uh, and also we are sensitizing the panchayat representatives and the people about the importance of conserving water, and why the schemes like Jal Jeevan Mission etc. is being launched, and why what we are going to do with the water that will be flowing to each and every home under this Jal Jeevan Mission, and so that the water usage is properly done, and so that the wastage is minimized. The grey water management is also an important area, and for that what we are doing is we are constructing individual and community soak pits for proper management of grey water from the households and community centers. We are also doing quality monitoring of river water, and almost 5,000 farm ponds have been created under MGNREG and PMKSY. And PMKSY and MGNREG also permits MGNREG permits renovation, and we have also taken up renovation of traditional water bodies in the district, and PMKSY even permits renovation of individual water bodies, and that also we have done, and there is huge demand for renovation of individual water bodies. So apart from the anti-erosion walls have also been done, because what we have seen is that occasionally due to flood, the existing drainage pattern, and if there is a breach in embankment and all, the existing drainage pattern entirely gets disturbed, and which leads to uh, damage of many traditional water bodies and their banks. So for this is also an important area we have worked in the district for prevention of riverine erosion. And for protection and conservation of water resources, we have carried out 21 renovation projects in last 3 years, and 2,224 projects in the category of water conservation and water harvesting. This have been done till now. And when our micro irrigation initiatives under this till now under MGNREG, 7,236 projects we have completed in the micro irrigation category. So under micro water storage structure and irrigation, we are promoting integrated farming also, because when this farm pond etc. we are constructing, along with that for livelihood sustainability and for economic benefit of the farmers, we are promoting integrated farming. We are constructing the shelter, animal shelters, along with the farm pond, so that they also it also enhances the income of the farmers. And also we promote better fish farming in the farm ponds. After MGNREGA constructs a water body, then we integrate it with the fishery scheme, so that the income of the farmers increases. And initially there was resistance in adopting the drip and sprinkler irrigation in the district, but government has come up with incentive for adopting this drip and sprinkler irrigation, and the subsidy has also been increased. Now people are adopting this drip and sprinkler irrigation in the district, and this will also improve the water management scenario in the agricultural field. So, and we have also laid tremendous stress on renovation of traditional water bodies in the municipal area, and uh, almost 25 to 30 water bodies have been renovated, and they are being used as open spaces also. Around the water bodies, we have also created walking way and parks etc., which are being used by people. And the water bodies which were actually enclosed before, These have been made encroachment free, and these have been improved quite a lot, ma'am. So these are actually three water bodies in the Agartala city which have been actually made encroachment free, and then these were renovated. The process is very important what we follow for water conservation, ma'am. Then in this process we have utilized GIS data to identify the focus areas, and then through bottom up approach we have this GPDP, Gram Panchayat development plan, prepared in the Gram Sabha in rural areas, and it is a collective of all the projects that they intend to take up, but we generally cannot take up all these projects, but major chunk of the projects we take up from uh, uh, the existing Gram Panchayat development plans, and the convergence with other schemes like with forest department schemes, with the schemes of PMKSY, and with fisheries that we do in our district to ensure that optimum utilization of resources is there. And we are also involving SHG members from National Rural Livelihood Mission in the district, so that they also have their say in the development of their respective village areas and habitations. And we are ensuring that proper social audit is done through Gram Sabha regarding the MGNRS and all other FFC and PDF schemes. The schemes involved are mainly, ma'am, MGNREGA, PMKSY, Tripura Rural Livelihood Mission, an integrated watershed management program, Jal Jeevan Mission, and river management and activities work related to DADP broader areas. And the innovation in our district related to improvement of upper catchment area of the Howrah River, which is the main river flowing through Agartala. We have seen that if we plant tall polybag, ma'am, then the survival improves quite a bit. Considering the considering these things, we have identified the degraded forest area in the upper catchment of the Howrah River, and we have planted almost 80,000 tall polybag plants in the upper catchment area, so that the water retention and absorption in the hilly areas of the upper catchment area of the Howrah River, it increases. And also we have taken up in the last year 500 water bodies under MGNREG and PMKSY for conservation of water as well as for flood protection. And before that, ma'am, we ensured that the ongoing water bodies which were there of MGNREG and PMKSY, these are completed prior to taking up all these things in the current year. These are some of the water bodies, ma'am, and in these water bodies we are also promoting other agricultural and other livelihood activities and integrated farming. This is a photograph in which they have done some kind of farming on the bank of the pond, and which increases the income of the farmer concerned. These are some of the photographs during our visit. And ma'am, we received this award, National Water Award, in the year 2019-20 by Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India, for initiatives in this water conservation and water sector, ma'am. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to present the works we are taking up in the district, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Devapriya Bordhon, DM and Collector of West Tripura. As Devashree Mukherjee Madam was saying in the initial comments, that we are all looking for three kinds of aspects for water management. One is use of technology and innovation, community participation, and doing something new with the existing structure itself. I think West Tripura has shown that kind of model for water management. I'm sure Devashree Madam will be saying something in a concluding remark about your presentation as well. So with this, we move to another state, hilly state, a beautiful state of Himachal Pradesh. We have with us Mr. Rahul Kumar, ADM and CEO, Zilla Parisad of Kangra. We welcome Mr. Rahul Kumar. Over to you for your presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am. Uh, Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak on behalf of Kangra district. I would also like to say good afternoon to my two seniors who are deputy commissioners in Arunachal and Tripura. Thank you for inviting me. Ma'am, I will give you just a basic profile of Kangra district. Kangra, next, because you are managing it. Ma'am, Kangra is basically the largest district of Himachal Pradesh in terms of population. We have 15 lakhs of, the population is 15 lakhs, and the total population of Himachal is 68 lakhs. So one fourth of population is from Kangra district itself. Unlike other districts, Kangra has both the plain area, which is a valley, and mountain. So basically, our work is divided both in, like, we have to focus both on the plains and the mountain hilly areas. Politically, it is also an important district because we have 15 assembly constituencies. So basically, we also involve the MLAs whenever we have such programs, such as any we have any oath or any program or any inauguration. We generally involve the local MLAs. Our the development blocks are 16 and we have 14 subdivisions. Number of gram panchayats are 814, and we also have about 10 municipal corporation, 5 council, and 3 nagar panchayats. So this is the basic profile of ma'am, the Kangra district. Next. Ma'am, basically in Jal Jeevan, in Catch the Rain campaign, basically there are many departments and agencies which are working in district Kangra, also in other states of our country. The most important is Jal Shakti department, which is the nodal department for Catch the Rain campaign. Ma'am, the second is Rural and Panchayati Raj, where I am heading as a project director DRDA and CEO Jila Parishad. And next, agriculture, forest, and we also have few NGOs like Cure India is there, WGF is there. So basically, we have involved all the agencies and tried to work on a convergence model. Next, ma'am, will just like to describe how the funding pattern is, because there are many works which can be done through Manrega. Then we have few works that which can be done with 15 FC, and also the SDP, which is the local planning head. Ma'am, in the GPDP, generally we try to ensure that the model of convergence is followed, because many of the areas where Manrega the labor is involved, but still we need some of the material component. So thus, converging with the other schemes help us to complete our whatever project we are aiming at. For example, ma'am, I would like to give that in hilly areas, the issue of snakes are there. So just involving manual labor, it will be difficult to desiltation, difficult for desiltation. Thus, we need JCB and all to clear it. Ma'am, other department that we are working is Jal Shakti, forest, agriculture, and also we have we have started to work with other NGOs. Next, ma'am, what we have done till now? Our aim is to geotag all the water bodies till 30th of April of this 30th April 2022. Primarily, the focus is on traditional and like traditionally which are significant water bodies. We will geotag all them till 30th of April. Ma'am, we have involved all the like pradhans, ward members. We have given them login. We have trained them so that the tagging process is completed by 30th April. Ma'am, we had a Gram Sabha session, Gram Sabha on 18th of April regarding Jal Shakti Abhiyan with a theme Catch the Rain, where we had additional shelf of Manrega, which can be like which we can complete our projects, especially in this Catch the Rain. Ma'am, we have a plan because this is the 75th year of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The target has been given to us that we have to complete 75 Amrit Sarovar in till. So our aim is to complete 75 Amrit Sarovar by June 30th in 16 blocks of district Kangra. So we have divided per block up about 5. Every video will complete 5 of the ponds by 30th June. Man, just to make it a big event, we have tried that on 22nd of April, just because it is an Earth Day. We will be inaugurating this event through our either through our Chief Minister or RD Minister. So to make a big buzz about this event, and we will also try to involve a lot of media for this process. Ma'am, also I told you before itself that we have our aim is to also like converge with 15 FC and SDP, so that we have a good 75 Amrit Sarovar. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Next, stakeholders, ma'am. Our basically we have from the bureaucracy, we have the BDOs, the Panchayat Secretary, we have GRS, the TAs. But this time our aim is to involve the people who are elected, like the pradhans, ward members, in geotagging the water bodies, because there is a sense of ownership. And also, ma'am, there is cultural and religious significance with water, either like in the part of religion, or they use it for their own. Ma'am, that is our aim. We have involved all the decentralized. Our approach is completely decentralized. We have involved every member from the Pradhan, ward members, even the MLAs, and in the urban areas, we have also involved the councillors and all. Next. Jal Shakti department is the nodal department. We have big projects. We have 39 projects through JSD, which we have completed. About 15 projects we have completed, which is about 27 lakhs liters of water. Okay, next. Ma'am, the core department is RD and Panchayati Raj, where this year we have planned to have number of plantation work is about 2130. Similarly, we have planned to have water harvesting structures about 3624, rooftop rainwater harvesting structure. The plan is 2768, check dams 1320, desiltation of tank 209, desiltation of farm pond 402, and construction of new ponds 115. This is the target for this year, ma'am. We had a similar target achieved. I don't have exact figure, but last year also we achieved similar figures. Next. Ma'am, forest department, we are also working with the other department, forest department, and they have a scheme called Jal Bhandaran scheme, which in our district Kangra, we have 21 structures of rainwater harvesting with capacity more than 20 lakh liters. So 20 lakh liters of water is stored in one project, and 21 into 20 is the capacity. Also through other projects such as CAMPA funds is there, and forest department, Kangra, like Himachal, has a large forest area, and Kangra also has a large forest area, but afforestation work is also carried out. But ma'am, I just want to focus on one scheme, that is Ek Boota Beti Ke Naam. Whenever there is a girl child born, the forest department helps, provides the tree sampling, where you can like Ek Boota for the girl child. So this promotes like say जो हमारा campaign है बेटी बचाओ बेटी campaign, उसके लिए भी that is works with them also. Next. Ma'am, these are few of the works of Kangra district. This is a farm pond. Next. Ma'am, we have involved all the stakeholders. People participation is there. Next. Ma'am, this is a project which I would like to highlight. This is a restoration of Baudi or step well. In one of my blocks, ma'am, Dharamshala block, through the help of a local NGO, we geotagged 200 step wells, and through the convergence model of Manrega, 15th FC, and through other funds, 200 step wells were geotagged and were like we restored these step wells. Ma'am, another project that I would like to highlight is there is a concept of gharat, where traditional water mills were used as flow mills, that we have involved people were involved in this gharat system, and but because of modern methods, people have stopped using such methods. But ma'am, through the help of self-help group, through we have tried to project these ATA as different, and thus also help them as a livelihood mission. Similarly, we have restored, ma'am, about 200 step wells. So this was some innovative strategy that was used by Kangra district through convergence of different stakeholders. Next. This is also one of the works we have worked through Manrega and also 14th and 15th FC. Next. This was the, ma'am, this thing I was talking about, gharat or traditional water mill. I have shared few of the photographs that we have worked upon. This is a good concept wherein we have involved many stakeholders, and also we are trying to sell the products that are done by the self-help group members, which have also helped in livelihood issues of such farmers. Next. This is a big water tank, more than 20 lakh, done by Forest Department. Next. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, apart from this, I would like to share that we have involved other, like we have IIT Mandi over here, also and IIT Hamirpur is there. Generally, we take their technological help from their side. We have a Dal Lake, which needs restoration, and thus we have taken technology support from various agencies. Hopefully, would try to restore it, and this was everything from my side, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Rahul Kumar, Additional DM and CEO, Zilla Parishad of Kangra HP. And as again, innovation, technology, community participation, but also you have also kept in mind the importance of livelihood and in your efforts. That thing is quite visible. Thank you so much. With this, we move to another beautiful district and state of the country. We have with us Mr. Atul Taya, Deputy Commissioner of Siang District of Arunachal Pradesh. We welcome Mr. Atul. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know you're traveling, but thank you so much for giving us your time and joining us, even from the remote location. So over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am, and Mr. Goswami, and then my two colleagues from Tripura and Kangra. Ma'am, I'm just sharing few slides, like the initiative we have undertaken. So it's I'm not, I don't have that huge data. So it's just a initiative like we have done in a village. So basically, the initiative is done by the Department of WRD. That is Water Resource Department, and then PSCD and Forest Department is complementing. So next slide, please. Yeah. So this is the district profile. So we have a total population of 31,920. This is according to 2011 census, and our district is a hilly district. So you can see in the map, and it's in the middle. So the total area is 2,919 square kilometer with a population density of 11% per square kilometer. So it's very sparsely populated, and then we have got literacy rate of 66.81, and the average rainfall is 1,538, and that is rainfall basically occurs from April to October. So this is a new district basically created during 2014. It's with its headquarters at Boleng. So where I am posted. So we have got 9 administrative circles. So Boleng being the district headquarters, and then we have got Riga. So Riga, we have done the initiative of conservation of a lake. Then we have got Rebo Pargung, then Pangun, then Kebang, Rumgong, Jomomobu, Kaing, and Payung. So these are the 9 administrative headquarters, and we have got 104 villages. So with major river, that is Siang, you call it Brahmaputra in Assam, and we have got two tributaries to Brahmaputra, that is Siom and Simang. So the maximum rainfall is recorded during June, and the minimum is recorded during December. Next. Next, please. So basically, we have three projects. So first one is conservation of a natural lakes. That is, we have got two natural lake that is in the upper side of the district in Riga. So that is known as Gueng and Diyung. And this was done through the Department of Water Resource. And second is sensitization and capacity buildings for villagers on water conservation under Jal Jeevan Mission. That is through PSCD and Water Supply Department, and promotion of afforestation under CAMPA, that is to Forest, Environment and Climate Change Department. So this is just a complementary to the above two departments by the Department of Forest and Environment. So please next. So, madam, we have got two lakes, that is Gueng and Diyung. These are natural lakes, and basically these two lakes remain unattended. And then jungle had come up, shrubs had overgrown, and sometimes you see animal carcass floating there. So we have got an animal here called mitun. So that is semi-domesticated. So sometimes we used to see those animals floating there. So these lakes were not used. So the villagers and the department has decided that we have to rejuvenate it. So over the years, without using it and without maintaining it, the water reserve has also come down and it is depleted. And the lakes are also habitat to many species of native as well as migratory birds and animals and reptiles also. So we have decided that this lake will be revived and rejuvenated, and we have roped in the village communities, the self-help groups, and the edit department. Next, please. So local villagers and self-help group will sensitize on the importance of the freshwater and natural lake by the department, and then subsequently the villager will engage on self-help basis to clean the jungle, bush overgrowth on the surrounding of the lake, and the lake was desilted and decomposed matters were removed from the lake. As a multi-purpose project, boulder pitching were done, promotion of artwork, and protection of work were undertaken by the department. Further, channels were dug and cement concrete were also lined. So as a result, fresh waters from nearby natural source like Lubung and Lusing was channelized and conveyed into lake. So water they started flowing into the lake, and so the water level has also significantly risen, and that was stored as a reservoir. And during the lean period, the water is used for irrigation for horticulture, because Siang district is very famous for orange cultivation. So those water were used in orange gardens also. And then mituns and animals, birds, they have also started flocking back into the lake. Next. So this is the scenario before the initiative. So it was surrounded by jungles, and then nobody can go in. So next, please. So this is the initiative. So you can see villagers working here. They have constructed a hut also nearby, and then you can see local nala, and then we have done this thing, a concrete cement lining also. And then next. So these are the water being used in the terrace cultivation, and then you can see the water flowing in from the natural reservoir, and then you can see the villagers also working in the area. Next, please. Regarding sensitization and capacity buildings, as a part of Jal Jeevan Mission program, the Department of PSC has been instrumental in conducting mass sensitization and capacity building for water conservation in the district. So implementing agency have been appointed from active civil groups in the various administrative circle, and they cover all the 104 villages. So village water and sanitation committee have been formed. Gram Sabhas has been conducted in every village involving village water and sanitation committee, and field testing kit turning has been imparted to the villagers, and every village has been given with one field testing kit so that they test the water quality. So declaration is also signed in every village to stop deforestation around water source 1 kilometer upstream and 1200 meter downstream of intake point by village water and sanitation committee. So the department is also regularly conducting essay competition, wall drawing competition for the students, and rallies by self-help group are being organized. Next, please. So village communities have undertaken mass operational drives and are discouraging activities that cause water pollution and depletion of water sources. After receiving of field testing kit, they conduct the test themselves. And in the district, out of 4,880 households, we have provided tap connection to 3,179. So that is more than 80%. So with this, we have seen some behavioral changes in the village people also towards water preservation and conservation. So these are some of the pictures of awareness campaign being done by the village women. Next, please. There's a village called Rotung. So the villagers, after the permission of village water and sanitation committee, they have seen that their water source is drying up. So especially during COVID period, they have decided that they will take up plantation in the water source. So later on, they have judiciously used the lockdown period and planted so many trees around the water sources, and now they have seen some major changes in the water sources and then the delivery of water. Next, please. So these are the campaign wall painting with messages on water conservation by the students, and you can see plantation drive at water source by some village women self-help groups. Next. So these are the awareness campaign being conducted by the department for the villagers and women self-help groups. So afforestation drive under CAMPA. So this is a complementary initiative, like in an effort to conserve the ecology and mitigate climate change. Afforestation and plantation drives are organized on various occasions, like World Environment Day, Independence Day, etc. So in collaboration with water conservation initiatives under JJM, the Department of Environment and Forests have been involved to encourage villagers to plant trees. So Village Water and Sanitation Committee have been provided with sapling of Golmohar, Hollow, Indian gooseberry, plum pine, etc. by the Department of Forest. And Village Panchayat and Gram Panchayat have been actively involved in plantation drives in all the administrative circle. Collaboration with Arunachal Vikas Parishad and Forest Department for afforestation drive have been conducted. Next, please. So these are the pictures, like the plantation drive carried out by the Department of Forest and Environment in the villages. Next, please. So these are some photos of afforestation plantation being taken place by students and village committees. Next. Thank you, ma'am. That's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Atul Tayang, DC Siang, for your presentation. And again, a lot of innovation locally has been done by your district for water management. Thank you so much. With this, I request Debashri Mukherjee, Additional Secretary and Mission Director of National Water Mission, Minister of Jal Shakti, Government of India, to give her concluding remark. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Shobhikji. So, Mr. Devapriya Bardhan, Mr. Rahul Kumar, and Mr. Atul Tang. Very, very interesting presentations. Each of them brought out, I mean, there are different approaches that each of you have taken up, but there are areas of similarity also. Devapriya, in your presentation, what I found really interesting was the way you have used GIS and technology to map all the water bodies in your district. You have, I assume you have a district water conservation plan in place, do you?
Ma'am, this plan we don't have right now, but we have the action plan for next year, what we are going to do.
If you could, I mean, one of the strategies of the National Water Mission is that every district has to, should prepare a GIS informed district water conservation plan, which then gives you a shelf of projects for the years to come. You prioritize, and then maybe after 5 years you go back and revisit your plan. So that is one of the
Right.
strategies. The other thing that is very interesting is because Agartala is in your district, and you talked about this permission systems for water bodies. I hope we are also we're also looking at the inlets. Because what frequently happens is construction takes place around the water body. You don't get fresh water into the water body anymore, and then gradually the water body dries up. I mean, we've seen this happen in cities like Bangalore, and then people wonder why there is urban flooding. Right. So,
Right.
I mean, I think for Agartala, it's the initiatives that you're taking are so important that the city, the blue-green infrastructure in the city actually protects the city from flooding and natural disasters. So, very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rahul Kumar, I think what I took away from your presentation, one is that the fact that you have a plan ready for the current year, and you have timelines, and what you propose to do. And the issue of the Amrit Sarovars is something that I was going to touch upon in closing. So I'm glad you preempted me, because this is a direction that we have for the current year for every district. So thank you for that. The other issue was that when you you spoke about the step wells in the traditional water bodies, and rejuvenating the Boweries, and also livelihoods linkage with the Kharat system. Very innovative ideas, and I think it's worthwhile. Actually, I keep telling all the collectors and the CEOs that I speak to is try and get a local university, or somebody to come and document the work that you're doing, so that we can share. I mean, we are going to do some documentation, but since you are doing the work, do some amount of local level documentation, and do it with a third party academic agency, so that there's greater credibility. So these interesting initiatives should be documented. Mr. Tang, good to hear you. I worked in Arunachal 25 years ago, so it was great to have somebody from Arunachal, speaking. Just in terms of the water body rejuvenation that you have done is great. Now, just in terms of just a quick question, that when you have done the lake rejuvenation, I hope you've also mapped the catchment and worked on the catchment protection.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
that
yes,
part of the program?
yes, ma'am. We are working on that, ma'am. We are working
Okay,
on that
okay,
one. Yeah.
okay. Because that is critical to ensure that the health of the water body going forward. So I will just close saying that I think this has been a very valuable interaction, but I would encourage all districts to complete their water conservation plans this year. Also, just to remind everybody that if you need support for GIS mapping, the National Water Mission has 2 lakhs per district. I know that's not a huge amount, but at least it is enough to engage a GIS expert and get your GIS maps in place. So that support is available. Just reach out if you need it. The third thing, and I will close with that, is that it has been decided that to commemorate the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we will, as far as possible, create or rejuvenate 75 water bodies in every district. It may be that, we have small districts, we cannot create or rejuvenate 75 water bodies, but as many as possible. And they will be called Amrit Sarovars. We are trying to design a signage for those water bodies, which then we will share with the states. So and we are also in conversation. There will be a letter issued in the next 15 days that wherever National Highways Authorities is doing earthworks, there they will make available, in that vicinity, they will make available earth moving equipment to help create these Amrit Sarovars. So if you have, first identify the government land where these water bodies can be created. If they cannot be created, rejuvenate some of your existing water bodies. But as many as can be created, we should try to create on this occasion. So district should start planning for this immediately. Kangra is already ahead of the curve. They are planning to complete their work by June, but the idea is that we should try to complete it by we are targeting the end of this financial year. So so best of luck to all of you, and I look forward to interacting with you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Devoshri Mukherjee, madam, for not only giving very important concluding remarks and guiding all of us with your thoughts that what needs to be done more, and we all have to work together, but also setting the tone at the beginning of this webinar, like earlier editions as well. You talked about the problems of climate change and saving livelihood, community participation, and I'm sure the presentations which were made today actually touch base upon all those aspects, and they have got different approach, but the main aim is the same, that is water conservation, better ways of water management. And as ma'am has said, I'll just end the webinar of this edition of the webinar with one line, that let's prepare ourselves for Amrit Sarovars in Amrit Kal. Thank you so much. Do join us for the 33rd edition next Saturday with new sets of district representatives from other states from this country. Thank you so much and take care. Goodbye.